We are live.
Wow. Good morning.
Morning. Let's see who else wants to say hello. Morning. John. Hello, John. Oh, yeah. Can you do me a favor? Hold on a second. Thought I muted my YouTube. But it was me. I was the problem. Hey, John, did you get anything for Record Store Day? People tell me what you got for Record Store Day. Hello. Hello.
You talking to me?
No, I know you got jack shit for Record Store Day. You had
Exactly.
you had to go hang out with the wife. It happens once a year, and you can't clear your schedule. Actually, it happens twice a year. What's up, James, Steve, who wakes up 5 hours before the stream to comment, and Richard James.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. No, spent all my money with Mazzy. What did you get with Mazzy? Hold on. Someone's speaking to us from France.
Bonsoir. Je
Yes.
m'appelle Jean Clooney.
Did you participate in Record Store Day in France? I forget what there were. What's up, Chris? I forget what the European titles were. The European only titles. Did anyone get Record Store Day titles that were not US?
Well, I did find from our friends an analog, the record store.
Craig, not our
Right.
friends, our friend.
Our friend. Well, our friends in the UK. I did find I bought the last copy of that Oasis box from him. He's out of town, so it won't.
But that was issued all over the world.
Yeah, 1,000 here, 15,000 everywhere else. So like every store got one copy if they got it. I got breaking. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, it's in that box.
It's a best of. It's a best full record. There was a CD of it years ago. Okay, breaking news.
Yes.
This isn't, don't worry, no politics. No. The new Rhino reserves were announced.
Okay.
And they are 3 of them coming in June. The meters. The meters go to the Rhino reserve site, fire on the body.
That was issued for 5 minutes by Vinyl Me Please.
Okay, well, that happens a lot. They've done that before.
Yeah.
Now, these are good albums. It depends if you want them or not. I mean, for good price. Rhino Reserve, Otis Blue. So they're going in the soul direction. That's a great record. Now, yes, these have been reissued before.
Yeah, the meters, it's been issued, but that's a very desirable title. Otis Redding is easy to find.
Yeah, now this one has been reissued, but it's not by Rhino.
I thought they only announced 2 at a time.
No, they're doing 3. And the Baby Huey story. That's a great record.
No, I have that. That is good.
Just reissued.
Not by them.
So here's how it was reissued. Yes, sort of. It was sort of reissued by them. That Rhino had that elite reissue run out the groove, right?
Run out groove, yeah.
They had that division. So they released the Baby Huey with an extra disc. And I'm always confused by the Baby Huey story. He was a dude, a very large dude, obese dude. And they found this album, but that album he kind of only was partially on. He only sings a few songs on it.
No, he really?
No, he's not on the whole album. Well, I have the right. So Run Out Groove did 2 versions of that album.
I don't have a Run Out Groove.
They did a single disc version and a double disc version, but it was all premium with a cover and all that. I have the single disc version.
Okay.
But I'm always confused. Everything I'm saying is not 100%, but I remember that he died before that album came out, I think.
Well, you and I can debate the merits.
I'm not debating. It's what I thought I remember.
But you and I can debate the merits of Rhino putting out 3 records that have been out. They have been out, but this is a series. It's their label, and they're putting them out.
Hold on. I have no issue. I have no issue with any of those.
Come on, Rob.
Even by Record Store Day standards, they released. Chris picked up, I think it's a Live Meters album.
Yes.
He says it's not the best sounding album.
Yeah, I
but
passed
the meters are very desirable. The one I picked up is Run Out Real Gone, who did a great job on Joey's album, put out a 3-disc album of like the best of their original albums on, is it Joey? Not saying Joey, but Joey Records. Is that the name of the record label?
Yeah.
Before Jackpot put out the individual.
Baby Hewitt was on Custom Records, which is a division, which is Curtis Mayfield's label. If I was really ambitious, I'd run downstairs, get off this fucking stream, show the 3 records that I have, and do breaking news video.
Look, they're all good. They're all great titles. The Baby Huey is really good, but again, he's only on half the record.
Right.
And he died.
The album itself, whoever plays on it, I don't care if it's Milli Vanilli. Yeah. It's a great record.
I think there's a story about the musician.
I would not call it a great record.
You wouldn't? Well, why not?
You wouldn't. I would. But it's a great record, or it's a really good record. Okay.
But he only sings on
one you don't easily. It comes in and out of print. Different people have put it out. Yes, I agree with that. Like if it turns up every couple of years, but it's good to have it in print. It's easy for people. Curtom,
great blues record.
Curtom, not custom. I'm sorry. I'm just having my first sip of coffee. Okay.
Hold on. I have to shut down some stuff because I'm running a little warm right now. Hold on.
I don't know if they have the right to the impressions. You mean like Rich Little and Frank Gorshin?
You're being an idiot. What's Curtis Mayfield's band?
The Impressions.
Yes, thank you.
No, I know. I mean, I'm doing the Rob part of the shtick here. Okay.
No, that's not my style, man. It's
I have
it's insult comedy.
You know what it is? If I was to play Rob in a movie, they wouldn't cast me because I look like Rob and I'm exactly like Rob. I can do the essence of Rob.
Well, you wouldn't play Rob in a movie because you're a lot older than I am.
It could be the Benjamin Button version of Rob.
Yeah, he could play old Rob.
I could play Rob's father.
Yeah, you're not mine.
I am your father. It's true, Rob.
I'm trying to
hold on.
I killed your mother. I am your father.
All right, hold on. I have to shut down a lot of stuff here.
Okay, go shut down, people. Okay. Should I get those 3 Rhino? No, I don't feel like pulling them out. Oh, hi, everybody. Welcome to the morning Tuesday, Thursday show. I want to do a self promo at 9 a.m. Pacific. My conversation with Rob Frith about that Beatle Decca tape he has. Is it a copy tape? Is it the master? It's not resolved, the answer to the question. Apparently, I just found out, too, that he's going to be a guest live tonight on Steve Westman's show. So it's perfect timing. Coincidental. I hung out with him with some other Canadians last week. And that video, it's about a 20-something minute video, will drop at 9 a.m. Pacific. Thank you.
So you had a good trip to Canada? Morning.
I had a great trip. I did get one motherfucker post a comment. Why do you hate your country so much? Because I showed the empty whiskey. They took all the American whiskey off in the store, and they covered the top with the American wine. Why do I love America? I love America. I don't have to prove my patriotism. I don't like some policies, but that's always. Remember our generation back when people said, "Love it or leave it."
We said, "Change it or lose it."
Yeah, exactly. Hi, Harry. Good morning, Harry.
Good morning. I enjoyed your video.
Which one? The Canadian one?
Yeah.
Did you hear what I said? Someone posted, said, "Why do you hate your country so much?"
Yeah, I don't hate my country. I hate my leaders.
Here's the funny thing. You at least shared. There were 2 people that went after you for it, just idiotic things.
Yeah.
That I wanted to respond to one of them, but here's the deal. One of them went after you because you had highlighted how like the Canadians weren't selling American whiskey or alcohol, right? Or liquor.
Yeah.
And their point was that they're turning away business, right? And they would have made a lot more money if they just sold it.
That's not the case, as we know.
No, it would have been marked up 50%, right?
Yeah.
Well, not for what they already had in stock.
Right. No, but they
just
want
drink
people to buy,
something else, buddy.
buy local. I mean, it's exactly what they're trying to do in this country. Buy local.
That's right.
They'll just buy something else.
Yeah, I mean,
Bill Codville's in the
if you
peanut gallery in Dagan.
What?
Bill and Dagan, the two Canadians I hung out with, are here right now.
Yeah.
In solidarity with the Canadians, we drank Moscow Mules over the weekend.
That's not a Canadian drink.
Is it a Canadian?
I don't know what that has to do with anything, but
Moscow,
it's a
that would give
Canadian
you the clue.
Yeah.
I was really nice to everyone.
Toronto.
I think it's time to embrace China.
In solidarity with you Canadians, I'm going to eat some French fries today.
In solidarity,
Freedom fries.
I was nice to people yesterday in solidarity of Canadians. They were the nicest, so nice.
Hail Canada, Batika Tulipa.
Okay.
Yeah, but they had you could get the Italian wines, the Argentinian wines, Chilean wines, Australian wines, French wines. You just, I mean, if you really wanted to, you could go behind the tarp, and they did have bottles of American.
I mean, a lot of our food comes from Canada that we have here in the U.S.
Fluffy wants to know about poontang.
No, you're reading it wrong.
That's Canadian.
Fluffy, I did not get the Zamrock, frankly, because I totally forgot about it. I hear it's great, but I did not get it. So,
well, it's not
tomato juice and vodka. I'll give.
I went into Amoeba yesterday, and they had what was left, and that Zamrock album was there. So
I tried to get the All Things Must Pass the next morning, but everybody was sold out.
Well, I bought it, and I wasn't going to, and it was one copy at this one place after the second place we went to, and it was staring at me. And one of the guys in our posse, our posse, the posse is,
Entourage.
Exactly, entourage. Like, I'm the star, and I have these people that grew up behind me. That's right. Exactly. I had got in line. I had gotten the last Dada record. I was number 12 in line. I got the last one, and Joey wanted a couple for his sisters or his sister-in-laws. So we weren't buying them up, but I was last. The guy Travis, who wanted it, that was his only was 13. So I got it. So I said, Joey, do you mind? I'm gonna give it to Trey. He's been waiting here, so he got it. So I had paid for it. So I had a $55 credit with him. So I felt like I only had to pay $45 for the George Harrison All Things Must Pass at the next store.
No.
It was an illusion because I had paid it earlier. Yeah, but it felt like, it's only $45-50 for me.
And it doesn't bother me that I didn't get it because I thought it's kind of a goofy thing anyways. But I never saw one. If I saw it, I probably would have picked it up.
Someone showed it online. It was kind of cool. The Zoetrope animated thing.
It looks better than.
Hello, Miss You.
I passed on it. I didn't put it on my list on my first story. I would have got it but okay, this is it.
Hold on.
I like the packaging on it.
Yeah, look at that.
That is pretty cool. When it spins, it's animated, and it's cool.
Yeah, but I hate to say it, as a collector, this is one of those few cases I ain't going to open it.
But it's essentially a picture disc, right?
It's three different zoetropes.
Well, no, I understand that, but the process of making it, so it can't possibly sound that great, right?
Well, not as good as a regular pressing. I agree with you, but apparently the picture disc concept are better than they were like 40 years ago.
Yeah.
But I don't like picture discs, and it was the only one there at this other place. I never saw it anywhere else that day.
And the 12-inch of Be Here Now was kind of hard to find, but I found one of those.
Is it 3 discs?
Yeah.
One.
This is 3 discs. Yeah, it's like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and Mazzy, I did a live stream on Saturday and had a bunch of people up to show what they picked up. And Mazzy blasted the most interesting one, I thought, was the Dave Mason, because it plays in reverse. You have to start
Dave
it.
Mason?
Dave Mason, not Dave Mason.
Yeah.
No, there's one that goes from the inside out, but it's
Nick
not
Mason. Nick Mason, not Dave
Nick
Mason.
Mason. There you go.
Dave Mason was in Traffic. Nick Mason was in Pink Floyd.
Yeah, so it's a Nick Mason album that plays in reverse.
Yeah, I think that's a silly concept.
Well, it's for Vinyl Piper. Mazzy's calling you silly.
I mean, because what are you going to do if you have a manual turntable?
He was silly. It's a stupid concept. Okay, I'm calling.
You put it on to play, and it gets to the end of the record, and the needle falls off.
Yes, that's what happens.
Well, that's why I hated those. Remember the stupid the parallel things that Jack White did shit like that with Lost
Cool.
Yeah,
I mean, he had a song that played under the label.
Monty Python did a alternate track. Was it Matching Tie and Handkerchief? I think. I remember we were playing that in the store in '73 when it came out, and my buddy Coleman said, "Oh, you got to hear this thing on this bit comedy. You know, in stores you pay comedy. The customers don't give a shit, but you're cracking up because you're hearing it all the time." So he puts it on, and the side plays, and he can't find it. And he puts it on again, he can't find it, and finally he puts it on, and it's there. So first time we ever experienced the alternate, depending on how you start it, it plays a different side because it's alternate grooves, the way it's pressed. And that Monty Python record is the first one I ever experienced.
What year was that?
73.
Is that like pre-echo?
Right. Yeah, no, that all the Pink Floyd albums before Metal are pre-echo. Pre-echoes. I didn't get the new.
I love that song.
I haven't watched your video yet, Elliot. Ultimately, what was your rant on? Was it a rant video? Look like a rant video thumbnail.
It wasn't a rant video, but it was. Everybody's talking about the Tracy Chapman, the sound quality, whether there's a pre-echo there, whether there's some, just how well Bernie Grudman remastered it, and all this sort of stuff. And what do you always say? What is it, stupid?
Music stupid.
It's the music stupid. In this case,
stupid music.
In this case,
stupid lame-ass music.
Tracy Chapman is a folk singer, recorded a protest album. It's the word stupid. That was my rant. Nobody's paying attention to the message within the album.
Are you talking about the one with Fast Cars?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a great album.
Yeah, it's a protest album.
Oh, absolutely.
His point, all these people, I don't like politics in my music, and it's a fucking protest album. Okay.
No, my point is
protest.
Wait. Let me clarify.
Revolution.
My point is that it's an important music. The lyrics are what is important more over everything else. People need to listen to the content.
If that was the case, Elliot, you would be telling everyone to get the CD of the album or stream it. We are in a hobby where several factors equal into our enjoyment of each individual vinyl album. Okay?
Right.
So that would be, if that is your point, the conclusion would be stream it or get the CD. But I have an original version.
Some of it's listen to vinyl records as opposed to CDs or streaming.
I think what Elliot's trying to say is they fucked up a perfectly good protest record by making it sound so good.
Okay, how about this? For me, hold on, Elliot, it's not a full protest record because to me, the best song on that album is a love song. So
there are 2 love songs on that album.
Well, it's a love song. I'm sorry. So regardless of the point, and I don't know, Fast Car is about living in a kind of squalor and stuff,
which is a societal.
Hold on, but having their love and being okay with it. I don't think they're attacking the powers.
Think about the end of the song, though. she's got to get away from that guy because he's a dead end, you know.
Well, yeah, but okay, so you're posting domestic violence, but
no, there is a song. There is at least one song that addressed, two songs, I believe, that address domestic violence. That's for sure. Yeah, it's a great album, and it sounds really good. It is
a great album, but but is there something people wrong?
Are missing.
No one's missing anything.
Yeah, it's a great album.
Buy a Molly Tuttle record.
That's some great stuff too. It's a great album. I love the way it sounds. It sounds wonderful, but I think people are missing the forest for the trees.
Well, hold on. Can you name these people? Because I haven't heard anything from any people that negative about the reissue or positive.
Nothing is that negative about the reissue. There's discussion about some pre-echo on a couple of songs.
By who?
And there's a lot of talk.
Oh, it's all over. It's all over the Hoffman forums, Rob.
Well, fuck that place.
And it's all over.
You mean like bleed over? Is that what you're talking about when you say pre-echo?
Yeah, pre-bleeding into the track before,
like in Whole Lot of
Love. But it's all over the YouTube videos that all the YouTube videos about the new release are about the technical aspects of it, not about the beauty of the music and the importance of the message.
Can you name someone specifically who's doing that?
Sure.
Right on our
John
panel
Bandy.
right now.
John Bandy. John Bandy.
He doesn't make videos.
He's on the Hoffman forums talking about it.
Okay. Well, John Bandy, I'm sorry, Elliot's attacking you.
You know, all that audio
I'm not
really Dan. Hollywood kids don't give a fuck about anyone else. Protest.
David Bianco.
Showbiz kids making movies of themselves. You know they don't give a fuck about anything else.
Wait. Let Elliot, what were you saying? Well, Harry
David Bianco.
David,
Safe and Sound Texas Audio Excursion. Watch his video about the release. He does an A/B comparison, and obviously he's not a heavy-duty audiophile, so he's talking about the pre-echo. He's talking about, he's analyzing the difference between the two.
Elliot, do you have an original version of the album?
I do. I have a CD. I have an original.
And you bought the new one?
I did. My original version is a VG. It plays with surface noise.
Okay, so my question for you is, I'm not certain channels, the premise of a lot of their videos, there has to be some sort of whatever. Based on what you're able to conclude by each version, should it be an issue to be addressed?
Both the original, the OG and the reissue sound wonderful. They don't sound exactly alike. There's some differences.
I guess Rob's asking: is this echo thing like a mistake issue that they should rectify, which they're not going to? Is that something? That's what he's asking.
Right, I cannot hear it.
No. Here's actually what I'm asking. Some people get caught up in the type of videos they make,
right,
where they feel the need to kind of overemphasize a concern that really isn't a concern.
And I think that's what's happening.
So you think that's the case?
I think that the pre-echo is not an issue. I don't think it's an issue. I've listened to the album over the last week a dozen times. There's one specific song or two specific songs that the acapella song she does, or a third or fourth track on side one, and another song. I can hear I'd call it ghosting as the it's about to begin. I don't hear any of that. None. Other people say they can hear it. So I'm not telling those other people to ignore that they're not hearing what they're hearing. Okay, I'll accept they're hearing what they're hearing. But what I'd hate to see happen is a normal person listening to this album getting caught up in trying to hear that when they never would hear it, and maybe getting a little paranoid about whether it's there or not and obsessing on that.
What's the premise of this Hoffman thread is that there's an echo. Are most people agreeing with it, or are most people?
A lot of people agree. Here's the thing: I'd
say half and half.
Yeah. I agree with Elliot on this, because what happens is it goes back to the warble. Remember the warble on the Andrew Hill record? I never heard it, but some people, it's true, hear it. But people say, oh, 22 seconds into track 3, there's this glitch. So you go listen and you listen for the problem, and that wrecks your musical experience.
Same with that Van Halen reissue.
That's
one song on side 2 has a click.
Hold on.
But remember, historically, Harry, you'll probably remember this, or most people. Well, people who know, okay, every single issue up until some of the remasters, maybe like 10 years ago, the stereo remasters of Day Tripper, there was one bass note that drops out, down, 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 like that. You can hear it on every single one, and I heard it as a kid, and of course, every time I heard it, it drops out. It's on all the issues.
I always thought that was intentional.
Well, it was fixed on the stereo digital remaster. They fixed it.
That ruined it then. I always thought that was intentional.
At that point, I noticed it not be, because I'm in my mind, my sense memory always expects it. It's not a big deal, but I always expect it. For those of you that just woke up, and I'm going to repeat the breaking news, Rhino Reserve, the Meters, Fire on Bayou, Otis Redding, Otis Blue, and Baby Huey are the next Rhino Reserves coming up in June. If you're interested,
and that's basically it's Rhino's version of the Blue Note Classic.
Yeah, they're $32. I think they're $32. Yeah. They're is it Chris Bellman or the other guy, Matt Luthans? I forgot which ones.
The worst tragedy about the Tracy Chapman album, I'll share with you, is I got my copy, I pre-ordered it and got it from Rhino, cleaned it, set it on the rack with 2 or 3 other sealed Professor Longhair I'd cleaned and one other record, and somehow my rack toppled over and it put a scratch on all 3 records I had. So there I was stuck.
Nice.
There was a click. There was a click on one song on side 2, but otherwise it played beautiful.
What if you had a humming guru, that wouldn't have happened?
Yeah, Elliot.
You can't. That's true.
You got to take away your cleaning setup next to the still and get into this.
That's right. I was wondering when we were going to get to one of those awful jokes.
You can use the heat from the still.
Actually, wait,
Rob.
Hold on.
Elliot,
from what I understand, Elliot, your mule kicked it over.
You need to clean the records with sour mash.
You're kind of an asshole that you diss people in the South and their accent. That's
no.
Bullshit.
I'm from the South.
Andy Griffith outsmarted everyone. Andy of Mayberry outsmarted everyone.
No, South. And let me tell you something. They're backwards people everywhere, not just in the South.
The biggest redneck I ever met was from upstate New York.
The biggest happy on Andy Griffith because they're all single. The only married guy is Otis. He's drunk all the time.
Good morning, everyone.
I bet you there are backwards people in the military too.
Let me just follow up.
You're all talking
Hold on, Michael. I wanted to point out when you requested a link, your militariness came in. You said, "Can someone shoot me a link?"
Yes.
Yeah. Let me add one thing about the Tracy Chapman scratch. Yes. It played perfectly other than on one song where it was scratched with that click. I had a record show Sunday. I carried it to the record show. I put a sticker on it that said, "Dang, I messed up." $15. And obviously I told anybody that took a look at it what the deal was. And but the second person that looked at it said, "Will you take 10?" I said, "Sure." So I sold it for for $10. So I got a third of my money back, basically.
You could have sent it back to them and said you got it with a scratch on it.
No, that would be unethical. And
everybody does that stuff.
I'm not going to, just because everybody does something doesn't mean
actually you should have sent it back and said
everybody jumped off a bridge.
I was cleaning the record on the barn and the mule.
I'm not going to do anything unethical. That would be
put it on Discogs as VG++.
Yeah, that's probably how.
Or Schmuck that bought it from you 2 weeks from now, he's going to be kicking himself.
But I had some credits at Amazon, and I ended up getting a second copy from Amazon, and it only cost me $9 and something because of the credit I had, and it was on sale for $24 something at Amazon. And this second black copy came in very well. A lot of people are saying that the colored vinyl, the red or the orange, has a little more noise in it. And so I would ask the panel, I know black is also a color.
Yes.
So is there any merit to the argument that when they put color variants issues that they often don't play as well as far as
I don't believe that is the case. If everything else is equal, if it's good vinyl, well mastered, well pressed, I don't think that's an issue at all.
Well, where was it? Elliot, do you know where the Tracy Chapman was pressed at?
Optimal.
Yeah. So there could be an issue there with them.
It used
to the black is perfect. The black is the base of the album, whatever you want to call it, is black or transparent. It's dead silent once you clean the record.
Yeah, it used to be the case that I think colored records were quite a bit noisier. I think that's gone away. It just depends on the pressing plant. But I think it's easy.
I segregate my music: colored vinyl and
very nice
and white vinyl. I don't like to mix them.
Mm-hmm. But I think
all your hate mail to Harry, P.O. Box Puyallup.
I think in regards to plants like QRP or RTI at this point, I think if you get colored vinyl variant, it's not going to sound that pretty much any different from the black one. But if you go to like something like United, it might be a little.
Yeah, but their presses, whether they're black or white, are not the best.
I have.
Is there going to be any difference in the vinyl composition of the vinyl they're using if they're adding in one of these colored pellets?
I have 3 copies of Frank Zappa's Apostrophe. One is black vinyl. One is yellow splatter. Is it yellow splatter? And then the other one is just yellow. So I'll be reporting on the.
I think the most shocking thing about what you just said, Jim, is that you only have 3 copies of that album.
Yeah, that
I have
actually
more than 3. I have more than 3, but I only have 1 splatter and 1 yellow.
I'll say sometimes when. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jim.
And the reason I did that was because it was a mistake. I didn't mean to.
When people get crazy with the variants, like I've seen glitter variants from.
Those are noisy.
Yeah, it sounds awful. I can't do
Wasn't there a record with liquid in it at one point?
There was a bunch of them now.
Everyone thinks they're the first one to come up with a novelty record press.
Yeah.
But
Bon Jovi, Slippery When Wet has water in it.
I miss Flexi.
Miller Brewing did one with beer in it.
Yeah. There seems to be something about if the metallic colors sometimes tend to be a little noisy, right? I've experienced.
And the glow in the dark.
Yeah.
But what's weird is that black is the color. You know, don't they have to make it black?
Yeah.
I prefer black.
We know from Chad Kassem the basically the native color is semen. Is that milky like the
Ew. I guess you would know.
No, I'm not.
And that's why everybody. That's why Mazzy's banned from the Hoffman forums.
Right.
Yeah. I'm not banned from the forums. One thread.
The advantage of black vinyl though is in the maintenance of the record. You know, you've been able to look at it. You can see if there's any scratches anywhere, if there's dust on the record. When you clean it, you can tell whether you got it completely. Better tell whether you got it completely clean or not. So that's
it's
why
hard to find the track on clear vinyl if you're trying to get a specific track.
Another good point. Yes.
I always thought if there was some sort of blood in the vinyl, that maybe the Wizard of Vinyl was handling his
There's some record. Some band put a record out that had menstrual blood pressed in the vinyl.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all.
Was there a female member of the band? Or was this just random?
It was male menstrual blood, which is crazy.
I'm assuming.
Was that Angry Ed, your friend Angry Ed?
I mean, there we go.
Angry Ed? I've never heard that.
That's supposedly the natural color of vinyl. So that's, I mean, according to
and that the box is the natural habitat for that vinyl.
Yeah. Is that
David Lynch has a painting made of flies' eyes. I don't think that's true.
You might have
covered this. Were you given a free copy of the Dennis Hopper record?
No, I bought it. Oh, right.
Oh,
right.
Did you? How is it?
It's good. It's really interesting. It's all over the place. I only heard it once.
Steve Earle's on it, I see.
Steve Earle's on one track. Bruce is on one track, but he kind of talks it through, almost like a beat song, almost not quite hip hop. It's not that. Then. And he's on one track. Fiona Apple sings one track. There's other people. It's sort of this interesting soundscape. There's a few little bits where it comes into like a news report about Dennis Hopper, about something about Hollywood back in the 60s and things. It's interesting. It's double album, Waterboys.
Waterboys are popular.
What's the premise? What's the premise on this album? I never knew he did any music.
All about Dennis Hopper.
Is it spoken word?
No. It's music. It's the
was this Record Store Day?
No, this is a new release. But I tell you, I didn't know anything about this record, and when I started shooting with photographing up in Canada, one of the guys, Fritz Electric Bar, he has a channel. He lives in Vancouver. He's talking about this record when I was at his house, and he was talking about it. And the guy he was with started talking about it was sort of based on this biography that came out a few years ago on Dennis. And of course, the Waterboys, the main guy, what's his name? Someone's going to tell me.
Is that World Party guy?
No, well, he's gone after the second album or something.
Okay.
The main guy, Scott, whatever. Tell me, I forgot his name, whatever. And like there's a thing, Blues for Terry Southern. Terry Southern is the writer that did the screenplay for Easy Rider.
Did he do Candy also?
Yes. Hopper's on top. There's one song called Frank, Let's Fuck, and it's basically just repeating those lyrics, Let's Fuck from Blue Velvet. So it's not like a beginning to end biography, but it's the essence of Hopper. Steve Earle sings on the opening track, Kansas. He sings lead on it. It's really
all these songs are brand new. All these
it's all brand new written. And I had gotten a comment in that video from John 6-inch and said this is going to be one of his favorite albums of the year. I haven't dived into it yet, but in that video you'll see 4 of the people in that one day bought this record. We bought the last copies at one of the stores.
What label is that on?
It's on Sun. Sun has been reissued. Chris Isaac's on Sun Records now, so Sun. Okay. It's easy to get here, I assume. But it's really cool.
But with the tariff,
I don't know if I'd want a double album about Dennis Hopper. I'd just rather watch his movies.
But Elliot, it's just an album inspired by him.
It's like saying, do you like a Tommy? You don't like Tommy because it's a double album.
And Elliot, I don't know if you know this, but the Tracy Chapman album
is a double album.
Is Michael J. Pollard. It's about him.
Michael J. Pollard. Hey, man, I used to hang out. He was my buddy.
He was my favorite character in the Bonnie and Clyde movie.
Michael J. Pollard used to hang out in my office for hours.
I realize who you're talking about now. Yeah, that's a great actor.
Double LP. It is a double LP on Sun.
His best role is in Roxanne.
No, it's not made in Canada. It would be Sun is an American label.
Pollard
it's an American label.
That's how Michael J. Fox got his J.
Yeah,
because there was another Michael Fox in SAG, and he liked Michael J. Pollard. So
Michael J. Pollard was not acting.
No, I can believe it.
He's a weird dude.
He was not acting. He didn't drive.
His best role, actually, other than Roxanne, is remember he on the Andy Griffith show, he played someone's dimwit cousin, and everyone thought he was a loser and everything, but he saved the day.
Is he still alive?
No, I think he passed away. But when Otis was locked in the jail and he needed to get out for a job interview, and Michael J. Pollard saved the day.
I have a Record Store Day record here that Elliot must have, and a recorded video. It won't be up for a few days. This one.
Oh gosh, yes.
I mean, this is recorded. I think it's the last thing he worked on about 10 years ago, and it's previously just Buddy Miller and Jim Lauderdale. It's got Elvis Costello, Gillian Welch, David Rawlings, Robert Plant sings the song, Ralph Stanley, Buddy Miller, and Jim Lauderdale, Ricky Skaggs. It's really good sounding record, really good newgrass, bluegrass. Ralph Stanley got a comeback in 2000 because he sang "Oh Death" on
Down from the Mountain.
Oh brother, where art thou?
I saw the tour they did on
previously just a CD.
Yeah, just a CD, and it's really good.
I probably got the CD somewhere. Yeah. I'll have to pick that one up. Hopefully, how many did they press? Do you remember?
I don't know, but I kept dreaming about you when I was listening to it, Elliot. So,
yeah. Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I had a record show.
So who wants to go to Den Bosch with me?
When?
Come on, let's do it. Let's get a
it's
crew
already
together.
over, Elliot.
We might not be able to get back.
I mean, not Elliot. Harry, it's over. Den Bosch
I'm
is
kind
over,
of bummed.
right?
It'll come back. It'll be another
show.
show.
Hey,
I'm trying to get Uwe to go with me.
Here's the deal. There's going to be a big record show here in LA in August, end of August.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone come on down. It's supposedly going to be the one I've been asking to happen in LA.
Tell us more.
The guy has some experience putting them together, and he's got plenty of time to do it. So
the reason I am hopeful for it is this gentleman has been running the one that's been in Philadelphia that several people we know had attended and said it was great. But
he also did one in Denver.
It was easy access for all the Northeast record dealers to go to. So somehow I'm hoping he can turn this one into a big show.
I think Den Bosch would rather go on a spring show than a fall show.
Yeah, for sure. I like Dan B's comment. Can you make that big there, Rob? Let's all go to LA.
You can stay in the alley behind my building.
I've been in that alley.
It's a very nice alley. Jim, I was going to ask you, I had a great opportunity a couple days ago to check out Portland, Maine record stores. Do any of them advertise with you?
Who's that?
I had a great opportunity to check out record stores in Portland, Maine. I was wondering if any of them advertise with record stores.
Portland, Maine. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, are there enough
some
stores
of the best
there?
Record shopping. What?
Really?
How many
I don't even distribute in Maine at
know
all.
Shamrock?
You go as far as Chicago, right?
I do. I only do a couple of stores in Chicago. I do, Electric Fetus in Minneapolis. I do.
Shamrock Vinyl is there too. He lives there.
I don't do anyone in Portland, Maine. Give me text me.
The one that it would be a good fit, I feel like, is I found this really good record store called Moody Lords. It's half a vintage shop and then half a record store. And usually the record stores that are also a vintage shop are like not very good, but this one was quite good. They had a lot of wall records. They had everything cataloged, or they had everything organized by like different genres. Like they even had like separate for rock, like classic rock and like 80s new wave and then modern rock.
What's the name of it?
Moody Lords.
How many stores are there, Michael, to make
there's about 4 or 5 in the downtown area, and I think there's one more out a ways.
Crazy.
Wow.
And I went to one called Electric Buddha that was kind of a bummer. I went to that Moody Lords, and someone had dropped off a really good UK 80s collection of like pop, like post-punk, pop-punk, new wave. I got some UK 12-inch singles from Gang of Four. I got some UK 12-inch singles from Generation X, and I got their debut album, UK pressing, for $15, which was pretty good.
Wow.
And I also grabbed, they had a UK Elvis Costello this year's model for $20.
That was a good video. I liked that video.
So the prices were good at this place.
The prices were good. That collection was good, and then I bought like a bajillion classical records at this other place because the guy let me in the back. And I was
I'm guessing you were on tour, right?
Yeah, I'm still on tour. This is the last.
So how much shit can you carry along with you, or did you mail it back?
We've got a cargo bus.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, that's going to be cut soon.
So wouldn't bet the farm on it. Wife neither. Yeah.
I have a question. What happened
you gotta
to
you gotta understand things are
the Boomer Scalpers column?
A Boomer Scalpers column was deleted this month due to
Humming Guru.
No, it was combined with two other writers, and we called it RCN Staff. Basically, promoted to RCN Staff, which means you no longer are.
When you refer to me, Harry, it's no longer the Boomer Scalper; it's RCN Staff.
Okay, so you get medical and you get a retirement plan.
You get a staph infection, which is not pleasant.
I think you should call this.
Michael. Question to Michael: don't you normally just stay on the western half of the country and another military group?
So the way it works is that it's weird because all the military bands have their area that they're responsible for, and for us that's the Rocky Mountain area. However, the difference is all those other military bands are what they call regional bands, and we have a regional area of responsibility, but we're a premier band and we're part of the Air Force Academy, and so we actually our area of responsibility really is the world. So we can tour. Because the reason why we're touring in the Northeast right now in New England is for the Academy. We are raising awareness and recruiting for the Academy. So this is actually a recruiting mission for the school.
So where are you playing? What kind of venue?
So it's a mix between concert halls and high schools. I mean, we've played some very nice high schools. Last night we were in Duxbury, Massachusetts, and the high school there was like the nicest high school I've ever seen in my life. Really, really cool. I mean, the public comes. A lot of the people that come to our concerts are veterans and older people. We were in Duxbury, Mass. last night. Tonight, we're playing Mechanics Hall in Worcester. And that's probably Worcester. Is it Worcester? Okay. I'm glad.
So. I love this sauce.
I see it written, and I don't. I
got very, 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 very drunk there.
Yeah. But this beautiful old hall, Mechanics Hall, we're playing tonight. A couple nights ago, we played the Symphony Hall in Springfield, which is this beautiful old building. We had two shows in Maine. We were in Portland, Maine, and then another town in Maine.
Do you guys get groupies?
Cow Hampshire?
Yeah, they're significant. It's a significantly older audience. I'll say.
You go to Cow Hampshire.
Now we're going to have the Air Force band from Travis play at a
Band of the Golden West
venue in Federal Way here.
Nice.
Yeah, they play the West Coast. They're great. They're regional, but they're probably our best regional. So you should go. It's free.
Not where we're going. It's not. I don't think.
Yes. Where
the government can't charge you. Well, maybe Trump charges you now.
Harry,
well, he's going to charge. You can sponsor the Easter egg roll now at the White House. Oh, yeah. Literally, you can. You can sponsor it.
Harry, all public performances of the Air Force bands are free of charge. You might need.
Okay, I gotta look at this. Then let me look while you guys are talking about it.
Unless they're playing at like a conference. Sometimes they play at like conferences, and that's a different thing. But yeah, no.
Wife number two was from Massachusetts. Her family was back there. I spent time. Her mother lived Alton Bay, Lake Winnipesaukee.
Hey, words ruin music. If you're in that area, we're playing tonight at Mechanics Hall in Worcester, and it's completely free. You can just show up at the door. You don't even need a ticket. They'll let you in.
You did it wrong, Michael. You're supposed to say, "I'll leave a ticket at the door for you."
Yeah,
yeah. Dan,
are you going to be in the southeastern? Are you going to be in the southeastern part of the country anytime this year?
No. That's a no. We don't have any tours in that area scheduled. I'm sure the band at Travis does, because Travis, or sorry, not Travis, Lackland, the Lackland Band of the West, which is out of San Antonio, they mostly tour that area. Okay. Dan B, I don't know if you're trying to be funny or not, but the Department of enlisted military and the Department of Defense is very different territory than people who are civilian employees. It's a very different process to try to go after that. Not saying it won't happen, but it's Elon Musk cannot touch the Department of Defense. Our boss,
you're right, Michael. It's the United States Air Force Band of the Golden West quartet performance, and it is free. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, quartet. So it's Are you sure it's not quintet?
No,
one of the things
is it the brass?
You're talking about playing at various high schools. One of the things that they used to do here in North Carolina, we have a state symphony, North Carolina Symphony, and they used to divide up. They used to divide up the into smaller groups of maybe a dozen musicians, and they went around during the week and played elementary schools and high schools to introduce all the children to great music. I can remember at being in the 5th grade, and they called it the North Carolina Little Symphony, and they would come. They came in and did a performance for us. It was a great way to introduce children to music they wouldn't otherwise hear.
Question for you, Elliot.
Who is
in
Danby?
Who
is this person?
In that band in North Carolina? Is someone play the jug?
Yeah.
No, actually, I have a couple of friends that play in that orchestra. It's a very
Elliot, why do you take this abuse from him every single time?
He's hard on me. I tell you, he is hard on me.
Look, I praised
you. I let it roll off.
Listen, Elliot, I praised you for the Tracy Chapman record because everyone was just trying to make something that didn't exist out of nothing, and you did.
Well, Rob, you're my brother.
Rob, can you highlight?
Rob, you pick on me all you want.
Can you highlight Matt's record collection comment?
Yes.
So this was actually a big source of controversy. There used to be this group in the Air Force called Tops in Blue. Tops
I remember that.
Was not the Air Force band. The people that were in Tops in Blue were not professional musicians. They were people from the Air Force that auditioned for a variety show. And the problem with Tops in Blue is because Tops in Blue was cut like 15 years ago. And the problem with Tops in Blue is people, first of all, Tops in Blue, we do not perform as entertainment for troops. That's not what we do. We perform as part of ceremonial stuff for ceremonies. So we perform promotions, retirements, change of command, things like that. We don't entertain troops. Tops in Blue was billed as entertainment for troops, and the troops genuinely, they were being required to go to these Tops in Blue concerts, and they kind of resented it. It was kind of like a sketch variety show. And the problem is so the Tops in Blue got a lot of backlash, and a lot of people resented them, and they thought that they were the Air Force band. That was shitty. So we got a lot of heat from Tops in Blue, even though it wasn't our fault. It's not our department. And you can
safely say Tops in Blue ain't no Bob Hope show, huh?
Yeah.
It's not a USO show.
Hold on.
It might have been a USO show.
Matt, you retired from the military in 2003? Or you just retired in 2003?
No, I don't deny that Tops in Blue were talented people that were doing a show, but they had a very, very different set of goals into what they were doing, and it was a very different setup. And it is sad that they went away because that was a tradition that had been there since World War II. But yeah.
Well,
I got some records I'll be happy to show if you want me to, Rob.
Well,
sure.
Are there banjos involved?
You realize you open yourself up to criticism when you show records, Elliot.
To ridicule.
Now, Elliot, question for you.
I absolutely realize that.
Elliot,
yes.
Did you put the hat on to kind of emphasize the type of records you're going to show? Like the soundtrack?
No, I put the hat on because it was sitting right up here, and my head was shiny from the lights. Okay. That took the glare off.
All right.
Record show last Sunday went well. Enjoyed myself. Had a great time. Picked up a few jazz records and some other stuff too while I was there. But I showed some restraint. I think I only bought 14 records, and I sold about 40 records. So that that's always the goal, is to sell more than you buy.
40 minus 14.
That's the Oscar Peterson and Joe Pass.
48 more.
A Pablo recording. Fella I bought some stuff from before. Carlos had he brought me his box of the stuff he got new since last show, and I ended up getting this from him. This is Charles Mingus. This is it's called Nostalgic Times Square, the Memorial 1959 Sessions on Columbia. It's in great shape, and it's a promo copy.
I think that has a problem pre-echo, if I'm not mistaken.
Probably does. If not pre-echo, non-field.
It might be
Miles Davis.
Hey, can you reserve your echo comments for the Hoffman forums, Harry?
Miles Davis at Carnegie Hall, 1961 on Columbia.
They have good deli too.
Yeah. Now here's one. The middle-aged kids will be happy to see I got. It's a sealed copy of Superchunk. Here's Where the Strings Come In.
Oh, neat.
I never Superchunk's from just down the road here. I never paid any attention to them while they were in their prime, because the name Superchunk, I just thought they were some thrash metal band or something based on the name.
Big, huge shit.
And they're far from that. More power pop, I'd say, than anything else. And Richard Thompson, Hand of Kindness.
Thought it was Pork Butt.
And
all of you
from the same guy, Michael Duche, Cajun Brew. This is a promo copy on Rounder.
Boussolet.
The great Rounder label.
Boussolet.
And here was the find of the day. There were 3 or 4 bands that we followed when we were in our late teens, early 20s, going out to the clubs. And I didn't even realize this band had put out an album. This is a Tumbleweed band. And I knew these guys. I didn't know them like good buds or anything, but I knew this guy pretty good, Lee Dunham. He was the bass player. He came to North Carolina from Colorado and started playing with this band. I saved his life one time. This middle-aged man that I knew from town, he was playing Acapulco, Tumbleweed was, which is a illegal club, semi-illegal club outside my town of Lillington. And a fight broke out, and people were fighting left and right. Instruments, equipment was falling over, and it was 2 guys fighting over a girl, and of course, all hell broke loose. And Lee Dunham had fallen down, and this gentleman who I've known all my life, who was a rough and tough fella, he had reared back and was about to throw a punch at this guy. And I said, whoa. I said, whoa. He's not one of the bad guys, or something to that effect. I called the man's name. I won't say it here. Whoa. He's not one of the bad guys. He's in the band. And he stopped, went around, and found somebody else to hit. So I saved Lee's life one time.
Really?
So, or at least saved him from a bloody nose or a black eye.
Quite the comment there, Rob.
I know. Well, Elliot's all about saving people.
That's right.
I once diffused my own self getting beat to crap by letting there be a pregnant pause.
I want to say one more postscript on Record Store Day. This is as I recall, and I haven't watched all the videos and everyone's videos or just the mood on the Hoffman forums and everything. This was the least bitched about post record store day in a while. I mean, because it seems to be there was something for everyone. Now, yes, there's a few things about prices, but there were a lot of prices like maybe not for everyone. Like the Rye Cooter was $25 or $26. Same with Clarence White. Same with the. I mean, there.
How is that Clarence White, by the way?
It's good, but it's uneven in terms of recordings because it's like a 10-year period. But it's a cool record. I really like. Again, it's what Elliot would like.
I was a little bummed out.
Is it a compilation of his material?
Yes, 10 years.
Very early stuff.
What, Michael?
I had that morning, the morning off of Record Store Day, but none of the. I was still in Portland then. None of the Portland record stores were doing Record Store Day.
What?
Really?
Oh, Portland, Maine. Portland, Maine.
Yeah, and there's only two things I wanted to get. I wanted to get that Rolling Stones release, and I wanted to get Dada. And I was able to get the Rolling Stones from the In Groove the morning when they put it up, and I had Dada in my cart, and then it went away.
Oh God, yeah.
But
I mean, most people had a good time. I mean, we had a blast, and we got there way early, and there's always people complaining, why do you get? I can't get up there. That's fine. But when four of us hung out for it went really fast. It wasn't that cold. It was a little rainy, and then the sun came up around 8 a.m. It was just fun, and we went to other places, and we found almost anything else like around 10 when we went to this Royal Records. I just think it was a fun day to hang out. Now, I know everyone doesn't have stores near them or friends to hang out with like that, but I tell you, it was. I didn't see a lot of people bitching. Yes, there were things like online. I wanted to get Dada or whatever, and they didn't press enough, and that's I found the George Harrison is a good example of Harry's gone here. That all things must pass, because it seemed like a waste being a zoetrope, but I ended up getting it the second store, only place I saw it because it was standing in my fucking face and as a Beatle collector. But I think a lot of the quantities they did scale back because they don't want excess, Well,
there was one title that all the girls were there, I believe, the Charlie XCX, that I talked to other stores because the one I was at said they were told that there were production issues and they would be getting them later, right. And they took people's names down.
Well, even at the Taylor Swift at 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock, whenever, there were hundreds at Easy Street of that.
Yeah, it seems like they overproduced.
Yeah, but the other stuff, like Dada, I guess Real Gone and Universal Real Gone had no idea that Dada would sell 2,000 copies, 1,700 here, because they're not like this household name.
Well, they did have an idea because the stores have to buy them to sell them. So
right,
they were.
But at that point, they're already pressed. By that point, they're already pressed. They could have pressed more. Hopefully, Real Gone, maybe do another pressing, a black pressing, or they might just go on to the next thing and ignore it, which would be a shame.
Well, I'm going on my observations of Real Gone. They tend to do color variants and black vinyl of most of their presses.
Yeah, it would be good if they do that then. But I found the quantities were pretty conservative this year, which is probably a smart thing. But then it leaves people out. It's a no-win. They either press way too many or they're not enough. So they pressed a lot less. Like George Harrison's a good example. I don't know how many they pressed. I don't know if it's said, but for a Beatle thing, they didn't press a lot, and a lot of people didn't.
Well, they didn't do a lot of the box set for the Material World either.
No, I have a question. It used to be that it used to be in the old days that that what you ordered and what you received as a record store were not necessarily the same, and you were pretty much stuck with whatever you received.
That happened this year too. Yeah,
it did. So, okay. So there will be bins next week and next month of record store day product that hasn't sold, taking up space.
It'll be around for months.
Yeah, of course it will.
Yeah, but those are titles no one wanted anyway.
It'll be marked down 20 or 30% off.
So, Manish Tanna, why is this record store day different than any other record store?
Because a lot of the
Just the titles are different.
Certain titles, like Warren Zevon, The Box. Who would have thought that the 3 Giant records, the label, would have sold out? That sold out everywhere I've seen. Warren Zevon. I don't know how many they pressed, but not a lot. I mean, they're not big albums in his catalog, but they're really good albums if you like Warren Zevon.
Hey, Joe's asking, how does it sound, Mazzy?
It sounds excellent. I've heard 2 of the 3. I've heard the live one. See, the live album I really like because that was a double CD. And that's when he did a solo tour, probably because of budget concerns at the time. And half the songs he plays a 12-string guitar, really powerful, and then he plays solo piano. A couple of tracks have a little bit of an effect synth thing he adds, but it's really good. I love his versions on there. But yeah, there's always going to be extras of certain titles. Like I saw, like we went in the afternoon at Easy Street, and they have bins of, and they always have stuff that'll last for a long time.
Well,
but it wasn't really like the Ry Cooter. It sold out every place I saw it.
But I went to Amoeba yesterday, Mazzy. Normally, in the back of the store, they have all the Record Store Day titles. Seems like they had half of what they usually have.
And this was
they just press less of each title.
Yes,
maybe, or Amoeba did very well selling off what they had.
What kind of
did anyone?
What kind of titles did you see quantities on left? Do you remember? I'm just curious.
I remember the one that Culture Factory put out of the Archie Shep. I saw a bunch of those.
Yeah,
it was the titles that you make sense they should probably have a bunch of. I saw one of the Nathan Davis, which I think was a more popular jazz title, but it was usually
a lot of the doors too.
The stage they have in the back of the store usually has boxes all Record Store Day. It was only half of what they normally have there.
Vinyl
so
kicks. If you woke up a half an hour earlier, we went over the Rhino reserves. I
can always tell when it's the real Jose because there's always a fuck in the comment somehow.
Yeah, you know what, Jose? Here's my request of you: when you have to be foul language, just type it in Spanish.
Okay. Okay. Jose has a fucked up question. His attitude of the question is fucked up. Oasis aren't huge in America. Yeah, there's a big following, but they're not like they are in the UK. So they press 15,000 copies. Only 1,000 came to America. We all know how people in Canada, people in Europe always bitch about they can't get American releases. So this is one time when it's the opposite on the Oasis one. I got a copy at list, but it cost me £18 to ship it from the UK from Analog.
I haven't listened to it yet, Rajesh, and I got rid of my Pure Pleasure and replaced it with a 90s pressing, so I haven't compared either of those.
Yeah, I never thought the Pure Pleasure stuff sounded that great.
Yeah,
but they're supposedly either needle drops or whatever. So
Oasis was big later. Oasis was nowhere near as big here. Yes, they had a big show later on.
You know what, Mazzy? I'm gonna stop you on that. They were big here.
They're big, but they weren't like this. Yeah,
Mazzy, they had
I didn't get it.
Maybe in the subsequent years they have not been together.
Wonderwall
not as big. But I promise you, if we go back to that time, they were as big. They were big in the U.S. Yes.
Hey Siri, how big was Oasis in America?
I never knew about them until that movie.
It's going to respond on average that they were.
Yeah, but you're 100 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I know
they had one shorty in there that skews everything down.
Just saying. I don't know.
Well, when they played in America, when Oasis played in America, what size venues did they play?
Okay, they peaked with What's the Story, Morning Glory, one album hit number 4.
Mazzy, you could look how many records they sold in the U.S. I promise you, they were big in the U.S. I have the CD time, so I have CDs of their records.
Well, there's no accounting for something.
That Morning Glory record was huge here.
They had one top 10 hit in America.
Well, did they play arenas or did
bands are big in the U.S. with having top 10 hits?
No, I understand.
How many records
did they play arenas or did they play theaters or did they play clubs?
I saw them.
They played arena at the height of their powers in the U.S.
I saw them I saw them at a small club on their first tour in America called the Bottom of the Hill Club. Holds about 250 people, and I never saw them again after that. But I know they weren't massive. A lot of those Britpop bands Even Blur, they became sort of big later, culty, but Travis, all those bands, they weren't huge here like in the UK.
No, well, okay. If we're
Not
going
like
to talk
Oasis,
about
But
Mazzy,
now they are. Now they are.
Shush,
30 years
The
later.
only-
let me get
They're
a word
only
in
big
it.
in
Hey, guys,
the
shut
UK
up.
because
Everyone shut up. Please, I'm going to talk.
Rob Walker
Okay?
bought all of them.
I don't care, Harry. Shush. I have a point to make. If you're talking The Cure or Depeche Mode or other British bands like that, they were gigantic in the US.
Yeah.
Oasis was not as big as them. But I
Exactly.
promise you, Mazzy, when Oasis came out with that album, it was huge in the US.
Yeah,
It
that
was.
one album. That one album. I agree.
Yeah, so there's plenty of bands that have an
A
existence.
lot of
on one
bands
album.
tour their whole success is based on one
Yeah. No, I
big
understand.
album, and they're able
I'm
to
just doing a
tour and
comparison.
make
Yeah, look
lots
at
of
the
money.
Who. How many times did the Who do Tommy on tour? Jeez, give
Yeah,
it
hey.
up.
Imagine,
Howard Kaylan
how
and Mark
can a
Coleman are
band-
still doing "Imagine Me and You." I do.
How can a band play? How can a band play a place that holds like 100,000 people? Well, not
Okay,
for a concert.
but-
It'll probably get like 50,000 people in there.
Yeah, they're going to sell out, or if they haven't already,
Yeah,
they'll
but
sell out in America.
that's in the
But it's-
U.S.
But
That's
yes,
in the
but
US.
it's the same going back. If you go back at the time of like ABBA, take ABBA for instance. ABBA were not huge in America. They one tour in '79 in America. They weren't huge in America until years later after they split up in their records. I mean, they had a following. They sold records. They weren't a top 10 band, but they were huge everywhere else in the world. ABBA. And until like Muriel's Wedding and all these their songs.
Well, how are you comparing ABBA to Oasis? I
No,
don't know.
because it's a similar kind of thing where the band was so huge around the world, but America, that one
But
area
ABBA was big in the U.S. I don't understand your point.
not
ABBA
at the
was huge
time,
in the
not
US.
in the
Mazzy can't get
70s.
over
Waterloo
the
was a
fact that
massive
ball
hit.
club, you know.
Well,
Okay.
I thought they were
not at the time.
Like
I don't
74,
know.
I have no
75,
fucking
they
idea.
were
I
big.
wasn't born yet.
You know, we
I
saw
never
the
paid
greatest.
attention to that stuff, but my memory of the Oasis bullshit is their marketing was here in the United States, they're the new Beatles.
Yes.
And that was the
Yeah.
story.
Which right away I decided.
Whether
I
that's
wasn't
big or
gonna
not or whatever, or results in album sales, I didn't give a shit at the time.
Well, how many artists have been
That's
hurt
how
by
big they were.
that early
Oasis
competitors?
is bigger now in America than they were 30 years ago. That's my point.
Yeah, I feel like
Remember,
at least
Steve
growing up,
Forbert
Britpop
was the
never had a
new
big impact.
was the next Dylan. Remember, it had to have hurt his career.
Well, it didn't.
You know, there's a lot
Everybody's
of
a new Dylan anymore.
Michael, okay,
somebody's the new Springsteen. It kills
Michael's
their
a
career.
Michael's a generation. You said something about when you were growing
Well, like
up.
Ryan, I mean, like this music was hitting when I was, in single digits, but at the same time, even growing up, like there's no real cultural knowledge about Britpop. Really, it was something I only discovered online.
Exactly.
In my 20s.
Okay,
The
Mazzy.
big
I will
part,
say the only one of those bands that ever really did anything for me was Pulp. I really like Pulp.
yeah, I think I could be wrong on this. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe you guys don't know. Michael, you might know better than the others. It seems to me Oasis got bigger for young people when that Guitar game came out, because a couple of
Guitar Hero.
I think there was same with Radiohead. There was a couple of Oasis and Radiohead songs on those, I believe.
No, Wonderwall was always this joke song that it's like, oh, you got an acoustic guitar, you're gonna play Wonderwall, like that's literally how I knew about that song. Was people like with a guitar going, hey, play Wonderwall. I
don't know anything about Oasis, but wasn't Oasis or isn't Oasis the band where the two brothers are in the band and they're fighting all the time?
Well, that's the
Kinda
Kinks,
like the Black Crowes.
the Kinks, the Everly Brothers.
I think one of
The
them
Black
left.
Crowes.
Every Black Crowes, every band with brothers.
Simon and Garfunkel.
But I
Oh,
mean,
they're not
it isn't.
related.
I mean, me not knowing anything about Oasis, that's the one thing I know about Oasis is the brothers were constantly fighting.
Yeah,
Bros
I
gotta
think that's
fight.
what kept them in the news. Why they're bigger than ever.
Bros got to fight.
Listen, I probably have to take off. I got to get ready for the show tonight. But you guys have a nice morning. It's nice to come back on here. Oh.
Thank you for
See you,
coming on.
Mike.
I hope the show goes great.
When are you
tonight,
back?
Michael. Enjoy
When are you
your
back
tour.
home? When are you back
I
home?
get home. We fly home on Wednesday, and then I'll be in. Remember, I'll be in LA Saturday.
I'm
and Sunday.
around all day Sunday.
Are there? Okay, I have a question. Are places our record stores gonna be open Sunday because it's Easter?
I think so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We have a lot of
Unless
heathens.
they're normally
Maybe not in the
closed.
Bible countries.
Okay.
But
Most
yeah.
will.
So let's hit a store or two Sunday morning. We'll get everyone together. We got that big group chat, and we'll go get some lunch after. Does that sound good?
Let's all get together and burn Beatle records.
Hey, Record Store Day was on Passover, and they were all open. So
Yeah, you can do a sunrise service in the morning and still have plenty of time to hit the record shows.
All right, you guys have a good one.
didn't they cancel Easter?
No,
No,
but
I
you can
got out of-
sponsor the egg roll.
But they
at
found the
White
body.
House.
So I
Hey,
got
maybe
out
we
of,
could cook the Easter bunny and have rabbit stew.
Oh my god!
I got out of going
No,
to my.
it's Lent. It's Lent, Mazzy. I mean, we've been having stuff every Wednesday for the last month and a half. We've been having a
and
service for
Filet of
lunch,
Fish
doing
Fridays too.
lunch, and building
Yeah.
up to Easter.
And
I
Filet of
Lent
Fish
Friday.
Fridays.
Mazzy a record. I never got it back.
Lent. Which record is that?
Don't they have Filet of
It was
Fish
a
Fridays too,
Okay.
Elliot?
Hey, can I
You
show
come
some
to
records
you
I
come
picked up?
come see me, Mazzy, and I'll take you to church with me.
I've been to
Dr.
church.
Robert, have you got any stories about gerbils?
No,
God.
no,
Oh,
no.
God.
Just the Richard Gere one. I mean, that I
Would
think
you like
everybody.
some?
No, I mean actual, operating stories where you had to remove something. Or
Yeah, no, I never encountered that in my
Coke
practice.
bottles, the vacuum.
Yeah.
Can I ask a
So,
favor?
I will
Can I
say,
ask
I'm
a
just
favor on behalf
related.
of Harry? Can I ask a favor on behalf of Harry? Can someone at Puyallup start an open mic night so Harry has something to
please,
do?
Yeah.
please, on Sunday night, okay?
Mm. Well,
Hey.
I have a related story. It's not quite a gerbil.
No,
Oh, God.
no. My request is you stop.
Off
Hey,
limits.
I'm gonna show a record that I picked up yesterday because I went into Amoeba just to see what the state of Amoeba was. I was informed by someone who I thought had the powers of observation. So Amoeba made an announcement for Record Store Day they would replace a lot of the raw records. Someone told me in the jazz section they didn't do it. They did do it all over the place.
Would that someone be Fluffy?
No, not
Okay.
Fluffy. But this one record, the Sun Ra record, which I do not have, Sun Ra Supersonic Sounds, which is a reissue of an old Sun Ra title when he signed a deal with Impulse. This is one of the reissues they did. So I've not listened to it, but I'm hopeful that it's it was mono, and I read somewhere that it was kind of sort of made stereo. I don't know. So I'll let you know after I listen to it. So I'm very happy. And this is a pretty pricey record, but they had it for a good price. And there was some killer stuff on the wall still there. Still a lot of good stuff. Some music.
So it's enhanced to simulate stereo.
So
I don't even know if that's what they did. So if anyone watches the Jazz Bums, Joe, who comes up there, lives in northern New York, upstate New York,
Right.
is a big free jazz guy, and it was his birthday yesterday. So wish him a happy birthday. And he's a big fan of Peter Brotzman, and I found this Brotzman record from the late '80s.
So Bill Laswell.
Yeah, so this is free jazz. This will make your face melt. So it said it had a slight warp. I'll flatten it and get it to Joe for his birthday. So he's a big Peter Brotzman guy.
Bob.
Huh?
I said that's thoughtful of you. Very thoughtful.
I'm very thoughtful. Yeah, I'm very thoughtful.
I had a guy come in asking at the record show Sunday, looking through my jazz. He was looking for Mel Walden records, and you've shown right many
Mal
of those.
Waldron. Mal
Walden. Yeah, he couldn't remember his name. He was guessing at it. I remember seeing you talk about I was thinking it was Mel Walden, but Mal Walden. I didn't have any, but does the records go for a lot usually, or are they pretty good bargains?
They can. There's some that are reissued and widely available, and there are some.
Okay.
He put out some in Japan that go for well over $200 ish. Originals
I
of
don't
his
think-
stuff on.
I think this guy was looking for a $10 record, not a
Yeah, no,
$200
originals of his prestige stuff go for thousands of dollars. So it depends.
Right. But there are reissues out there that are $10 or $15 or $20.
But when they came up to you, Elliot, did you go, "Man, yeah, I think he used to live down the road from me"?
No, I didn't say that. I said we tried to figure out who he was talking about, and I figured it out.
Well,
Because of you, Rob.
He's quietly become one of my favorites, and even if he's a sideman on a record, I try and pick up his stuff.
Uh-huh.
So, but
and
like any other big jazz musician, some of his stuff goes for thousands, and some you could easily pick up very easily.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I will say I went on Discogs yesterday, and I was able to get the Rycooter RSD release for about the same price it was going for in stores. So, I'm still I have yet to get up at the crack of dawn and go to records. The only time I've gone to record store day was early on when I didn't even know what record store day was, and I just happened to be there. So
you could have gone in the afternoon and you got a lot if you were interested.
Did anybody buy the Bobby Charles release? I'm wondering what that was like.
No, I saw it there.
Dr. Robert, here's what I feel record store day is about. If you choose to get up early, it's about socializing with other record collectors. It really is.
All right, that's
like going to a record show. That's the main thing about going to a record show.
Well, you're waiting in line unless you're a quiet person who hates people and you're just there to get the records. You're having conversations with other people, passing the time.
Well, there was a guy next to us the whole hours. He had a blanket over his entire body, snoring really loud. I think last year I caught his snoring on my video.
Oh man,
yeah.
Well, so I will.
Go
ahead.
Go ahead.
Was that Kimbo?
No, it was next to Kimbo.
So I was gonna, I did search out some autographs last week. I think you guys know. And on Friday, I was waiting in line for, not in line, I was waiting on the street near the stage door or the entrance for X to show up. And there was a group of about 5 other guys there. And, they all had a bag of something they wanted signed, and they all knew each other. I didn't recognize any of them, but they're all talking to each other and they're swapping stories about getting autographs other places. And, actually they were kind of like a high school clique, and they didn't really, I was talking to them and they didn't really seem to want to be friends with me. And one of them, the kind of the leader, the tallest of them, and the I don't know, seemed to be the one that they were all focused on. He wouldn't even answer me. Like I'd say, "Oh yeah, what'd you do?" And like he just ignored me. Like I wasn't even.
Dr. Robert, I didn't treat you that badly. Okay, I'm sorry. Kimbo said I should have treated you nicer, but I'm sorry. We didn't
Dr.
want
Robert.
No,
Dr. Robert.
Yes.
Those guys you were talking to, I am well versed in those guys. They're professional autograph collectors who flip that.
That's what I was going to ask. Yeah,
well,
they were.
A guy, one of the most disgusting people I've ever met in my life was one of those guys who worked for me as a recruiter.
Yeah,
that guy. They have no care to obey by social standards. They're rude, disgusting, and abrasive.
And they don't shower.
So you just came in,
not like record
you're
collectors.
calling them a clique of people, but they're really. That's exactly who these. They're also like those TMZ people who photograph celebrities. They're of the same ilk. They're vile, disgusting people.
They were at work. They were literally at work while you were there.
Well, it's nice. Let's hear Jim.
So did you get the autographs?
I'll get back.
One of the what's the singer who shaved her head?
Sinead O'Connor.
Sinead O'Connor?
No. Britney Spears.
Britney Spears. Yeah.
When she was going crazy, she was having lunch at this restaurant above my bank, and so I used to walk to the bank from my office. I ran back to the office and I got my camera, and I come back. Next thing I know, I'm in a group of paparazzi. I was on the fucking ground, my friends. Those guys, they don't give a shit.
Yeah, but you're very close. You're very close to the ground. So
well, they knocked me down. I was boom in the back.
Yeah, but Dr. Robert, I'm being serious.
You're after your
You
Lucky
just ran into a
Charms.
group of flippers of autographs.
Well, I
That's
wanted
all they do.
I wanted to finish the story. I hung with these guys, and I'm just kind of watching, and we were waiting for the van to drive up, and then the leader somehow had somebody telling him when they left the hotel or something, right? So we're standing there, and all of a sudden he moves from the corner up to right next to the parking place that they're going to use that's been saved for him. And shortly after he did that, two of the other guys moved up with him. And so I finally decided, they must know something. And so I walked up there too. And so sure enough, the van drives up, and we got autographs. I got all of my records signed, none of them by Exene or John Doe. Unfortunately, I messed up.
But that's like not getting John.
Those are like the two guys you want.
What did Billy Zoom? Was it
I got
just Billy
Zoom, and I got DJ Bonebreak and Billy Zoom. Signed all of them, yeah. But the story is, the funny part of it is, as I was sitting there, listening to what these guys were saying, which was, again, just kind of boring to me, sort of boring story. Yeah, I almost had that one, and then I didn't, and blah, blah. It wasn't totally boring, but definitely this kind of vibe that like they all had personality disorders, and I think they all
like Trump and his cabinet.
They all lead lives of quiet desperation. They got nobody, no friends except themselves, and nothing else in their lives.
But I just explained to you, Dr. Robert.
Yeah, no, I'm in agreement. I'm telling you, I had this epiphany, and I kind of
not an epiphany. You just met the type of guys that make money doing this.
No, but
what does that say about you, Doc?
I walked away thinking, geez, is this really, maybe I need to reevaluate. Maybe this is not what, maybe.
Well, Doc, what I would have done is.
You're right. This is not the right thing to be doing. I don't know.
Well, Doc, what I would have done is try to make clear to the band members, hey, I'm not with these guys. Hey, I'd stand off to the side. And make sure they didn't think I was a part of that group.
You still have your medical diploma. You should have brought your medical diploma.
Yeah,
because I'm sure Billy Zoom has back issues.
The band and were polite.
He does have health issues.
They were standoffish. And I will say also one final thing. John Doe, when he was there, and I didn't get a chance to give him my records, but he's talking to the other guys, and he's like, just pick out one or two things you want me to sign. Yeah, there you go.
Hey, Rockaway, this just in, Rockaway Records announced they're buying autographs. If you want to sell, contact them.
Really?
Get rid of that crap.
Dr. Robert, how much stuff were these guys carrying? Much more than you?
No, they were actually less than me. So I had 9 records, and DJ and Billy signed
people don't sign anymore.
Well, whatever. At any rate, I was very polite, and they were very polite back, but these other guys, one of them had a couple books and a concert poster. A lot of them had records, but not, most of them had 2 or 3 instead of 9. So
why? I don't understand why. I'm no offense. Well, offense maybe, but bring your favorite record.
Yeah.
If there's a solo record, bring a John Doe solo record and an X.
Are you talking to Dr. Robert or the professional autograph flipper guy?
I mean, yeah.
It seems like it's about quantity, not quality.
No, it's about enhancing the record. For me, it's about enhancing the record. I want
enhancing value or enjoyment.
Making it nicer, making it a nicer package. I mean, it's the same thing as why I repair seams and take stickers off and all that shit.
I don't know.
Nothing worse than when you find a jazz record with, 2 schmaltzy. Thanks, so and so.
It's this one.
It doesn't improve the value. It degrades it.
Okay. All right. Well,
it does.
For me, it's an enhancement. It feels like an enhancement.
That's the thing that I had to realize, Doc. I thought my record collection was super cool just because I collected it. Then I started Record Collector News and I realized it ain't shit.
Well,
when I started
if you go through Jim's collection, there's a lot of autographs who say, I hope you beat this thing.
I think we can all agree that we all know a lot about what we like, but there's so much that I don't know about all kinds of music, but I know about what I like.
Well, that's a
That's
good segue, Harry, because I watched a social media video yesterday about this band. Now, does anyone know Built to Spill?
Bring up John 6 inches comment.
Can I finish my point, Matt?
Bring that up. No.
Does anyone know Built to Spill?
Yes.
I know the
name.
name.
I think they're from Seattle. Are they from Seattle?
What about them?
I don't remember.
So this guy says this album is like one of his top 5 favorite albums of all time.
Is that Built a Steel? So they built a steel?
Built to
what do they know about building steels?
Doc, do they personalize the autograph?
Hey, I didn't make the backwards country joke. Elliot did.
Are the autographs personalized to you?
No, none of them are. And so, yeah, none of them are. And
all right. Hold on. I have to find Matt. This has to be done because Mazzy demanded it.
Do you like the records to be autographed to you?
I don't like them to be personalized, if possible.
None of them that I've gotten signed are signed to me. You know, even if I.
Do you like the records, the music on the records you get signed?
Fuck yes. I mean, why else am I there? I'm there for a
Thank you, Nick.
Well, that's a question. Okay.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to buy that album. I streamed some of it last night.
I would just
today.
Yeah, I would just do one. Yeah.
Okay, I'll take it under advisement.
I get sleepy when I listen to this.
Hey, I want to know if John at Dembosch got Michael 45's autograph or Rob Walker's autograph.
About Record Store Day, I didn't go. I did a record show the day after, and I was a little concerned that the crowd may not be as large. They might be as ready to spend money on records the day after Record Store Day, in case, if they went to Record Store Day, they might have spent all their money already. But it wasn't. It was a great turnout. But I talked to a couple of people that had gone to Record Store, the buyers that had gone to Record Store Day the day before, and one lady shared with me that they had gotten in line I think they were in Mebane, which is near Greensboro, for a Record Store Day, to buy some stuff. I forget what she said she was looking for, but she said they kicked the guy out of Record Store Day. A guy that was in line, he was a flipper. He was going to go in and he was trying to buy up multiple copies of everything, and she said the owner just came up to him, took the records out of his hand, and said, "You know better than to show up here again. Get out," and kicked him out.
And then one guy was cutting in line at the front.
And that guy was Harry of Harry's Music Room.
So I don't go anymore.
No, I've seen videos. People are posting about flippers.
And she said that he had driven down from Virginia, probably one of Rob's relatives, had driven down from Virginia for this. And so he had a long drive home with no flipping records.
Well, hold on, Elliot. I've never, Elliot.
Well, in the Bush administration, I was kidnapped at a record store and sent to an Ecuadorian prison.
Yeah, hold on, Jim. They kidnapped you, but then they soon realized you weren't a kid.
I wasn't a kid. They let me go.
That's a good record, Harry. I like that record.
All right, three people were very nice to tell me that band and that record is good. I'm going to order it because I like what I heard.
Somebody in the comments mentioned the Marty Stewart record in Record Store Day.
That's amazing.
That's one I would like to get.
This wasn't a Record Store Day record, but it was the only record I picked up.
Great. That's a great record. Yes, sir.
Nice.
I love that.
Yeah. That is just so goddamn.
Everything John Prine does is good.
Must be one of his
this record and the one In Spite of Ourselves.
Yeah. The last few albums are excellent. That's excellent.
They kill me. They're so good.
Yeah. This is incredible.
Right down to the cover. The cover's great on that one.
This is a double album, and it's an instrumental album, and it's very kind of psychedelic, surfy, electric guitar, back and forth. Really good. It's weird that this is only Record Store Day, supposedly not a first. and not digital, not CDs, which is unfortunate because it's an incredible record. Marty Stewart, him and Kenny Vaughn on guitars or dueling guitars.
Oh, Kenny Vaughn's good.
It's so good.
Now, is that this year's record store day?
Cover painting is by Herb Alpert.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's a great.
So that was
Show the
Saturday's
back of
record
this
store day.
record.
Great band name.
That one.
So Jim wants to show a record.
This is who you should see live sometime, Doc, if Marty Stewart shows
I'll
up.
keep an eye out.
I just
Hold
think
on,
you should
Jeff.
make this big. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Is that another John Prine?
That's
it's
the back of this record.
Same one. Yeah.
It's at the beginning of their marriage.
Right.
There they are at the end.
Okay. I love it.
The end. Okay.
Well, here's one more. Okay.
Show the doc.
Yeah, there's another. Harry's showing a signature.
Oh,
Woody Allen, nice. Well, this one. So I got these signed.
You're
this week.
backwards.
Am I?
No,
I don't know.
that's the window joke.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if you can see the signature. The signature's over here. So I took it out of the bag. But he just scribbled it. He didn't make any effort to. There you go. Yeah. So
That's
that's
Bob's secretary.
That's Bob Mold, and he's
touring right now.
Huh?
He's touring right
Yeah,
now.
exactly. So I saw him Wednesday, and after the show, I was there. One other guy was there, and we got stuff signed. But he was kind of dismissive about it, and he also, that's not even. But maybe it is his signature because they all look exactly the same. But there's.
Well, I do that when I do when we done.
I thought he was a nice guy. I thought Bob Mould was nice.
Well, I know, right? And I had read some stuff online that he kind of liked signing signatures, but he was pretty dismissive.
Do you have Trump's signature? Trump's autograph?
Yeah, I've seen
You got to remember, Dr. Robert, people, on a given day, somebody's tired, they're hurting, or they're exhausted,
No, I do get it. And we kind of, he was heading to his car, but at any rate, I guess my signature is not readable either, to be honest.
You want to see my Zappa signature?
Sure.
You want to see it?
Yeah.
Given to me personally, and it has a message.
Well, I know how Zappa's your favorite.
He was dismissive of you, Jim.
Can you see it?
Well, Jim snuck into his house on false pretenses one time, didn't he?
Cut the crap.
There's my Zappa.
Has he signed it to you too? Was that signed to you, Jim?
That was his message to me personally. Cut the
crap.
I
didn't see it. Cut the crap. Okay.
Nice. Here's a couple I picked up at the record store day. I mean, not record store day, but record show before last. Peter Case.
Yeah, nice. I have that record.
Solo.
He's good. He's good.
Does anybody know this band, the Redeemers?
I don't know.
It's a blind buy for me at a record show. I didn't pay but a couple of bucks for it, probably. Is that band familiar to anybody?
Never heard of him.
I
think they opened for Oasis on their first U.S. tour.
They probably did. It's on
called King Kalani and the
Hey,
Blues.
Patrick. Have fun in New Zealand.
Oh wow, Patrick! Yeah, safe travels, bro.
Maybe somebody in the peanut gallery knows who the Redeemers are.
Wait, how are you getting video? You're on a plane, I'm guessing.
Not bad, Rob.
They have that fast of internet on the planes now?
Aren't you interfering with the communications on the plane when you do that?
Not anymore. They have. It depends on the plane. The newer planes, they're all set for that.
I think just
There's
taking
another one I got for about $3 or $4. Cisco Houston sings the songs of Woody Guthrie.
I have a copy of that one.
It's on Vanguard.
I'm about to implement no one show dollar records on this stream.
That's not a dollar record. Anything with Woody Guthrie's name on it, I like. I'm in.
And it's Vanguard. One man's dollar records, another man's treasure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but one man's dollar records are Elliot Cruz's
Are the seams intact on that, Elliot? Or do they need a repair?
I mean, no seams are good.
That's a good.
I mean,
from the Plimsolls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You consider that a dollar record?
No.
It's like
guess what I paid? Well, guess what I paid for it?
$1.
Guess what I paid for it? I paid $1 for it.
Okay. Good man. So I was just gonna. I don't know if this might be a conversation, and I'm interested in Mazzy's thoughts. So Ry Cooder in the 80s, I think mostly in the 80s, and then from then on, and this doesn't have any signature on it. I bought this. Actually, I bought this down in San Diego with a couple other soundtracks. So I love Ry Cooder, and I've got a lot of his other stuff, but I've never really bought many of his soundtracks. But I now have started to, and they're kind of cool. I mean, there's always something on there that you don't have that's like a great Ry Cooder song, but there's always also stuff that's just background.
It's score stuff, and it's beautiful. I love the soundtracks. Some are better than others, but they're great scores. Like the one Long Riders, that's a great soundtrack.
Well, in Paris, Texas, but
Border.
But they're different, right? It's different because it's not like you're hearing the performer solo or directly the whole record. I don't know.
Correct.
I don't know if it was ever released on vinyl, but I have a CD copy of a Ry Cooder, a compilation of Ry Cooder's soundtrack stuff that is just the background music. Not
that hasn't been issued. That hasn't been issued on vinyl, but that would be an excellent record store day.
That would make a great record store day release, or just generally a release. The CD, like I used to play that thing to death. I love that one.
There's tons of stuff like that they could put out.
Yeah.
So I went to Costco the other day. Did you know Costco is now selling caskets?
Oh,
that's the last thing I need.
Harry, the master of the dad joke.
The only thing is, you got to buy them in pairs of 2.
PB Thou, could we have checked Harry's luggage for you on your trip?
Patrick, hang on. Put your seatbelt on. We're getting turbulence.
Yeah, Peter Case was in the Nerves, yes, and
as big as the Pump Cells. That was his big giant thing.
I said that earlier. He's
done a lot of solo stuff.
He's married
to Americana, right? He started out sort of power pop.
Yeah, he's married to a woman I know in San Francisco called Denise Knickerbocker. No, Denise.
He was alternative.
It's funny.
Rock.
His wife Denise before that. His wife Denise before that was married to. Remember John Wesley Hardy, who was on Warner Brothers or Sire Records. He was a British folk singer called John Wesley Harding.
Wasn't he married to Bob Dylan's daughter?
Not the Dylan song, but based on that was his professional name.
Yeah. Okay, Peter Himmelman, that was the guy. Hey, who just mentioned it? What did you just say, Dr. Robert? Oh, the Peter Case, the Pumps A Million Miles Away, right? That was their big giant song.
Yeah, I guess. I don't think they really had many hits, but
when he first went solo, I think he had a hit song.
He might have. They really pumped the hell out of that.
The Souls were a well-known band, though.
Well, if you watched the movie Valley Girl with Nicolas Cage, they were in the film. They played live in the film.
The Butthole Surfers got a new record coming out, so that's exciting.
Who?
Butthole Surfers.
But the only reason you know that is you subscribe to the newsletter Butthole News.
Another good record.
Is it newly recorded, Jim?
No, it's a live recording.
Okay.
They don't know where or when it was recorded.
Of course not.
But yeah.
Okay.
Another good record store day is the first Camper Van Beethoven album. That's a good record store day issue. That hasn't been out.
Butthole Surfers.
Yeah. I like Camper Van Beethoven too. Both of those bands.
The first one was Take the Skinheads Bowling.
Right. That's
a weird mix when you think about it. Like it's klezmer, punk, folk, gypsy music. It's just a weird mix of stuff.
That's a great title. Take the Skinheads Bowling.
I know.
Did you ever? They used it. Did you ever see Bowling? Did you ever see Bowling for Columbine?
Yes,
Mark Moore the opening track. They used their version. They used Take the Skinheads Bowling over the very beginning of that movie.
Okay.
It's a
great. I like that movie. It's a hard movie to watch, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Elliot, have you watched the Guy Clark documentary?
I didn't know there was a documentary on him.
I think it's called "If I Get Out of Here, Get Out Alive," or it's a line from the LA Freeway album. Their song.
Where can I see this?
I think it's on. Platform? Is it called Freevee or something like that?
I'll look for it.
Freevee's going away because it's an offshoot of Amazon Prime.
I didn't realize
that content onto Amazon.
I hadn't realized he was a buddy of Townes Van Zandt until I saw.
Oh, wait, there's more Townes Van Zandt in this documentary than there is Guy Clark, I think.
Can someone turn their phone off, please?
Not me.
Mazzy?
Somebody.
I don't know. But yeah, I guess they were banging the same woman a lot of the time too, huh?
I don't know about that. Guy was pretty faithful to Susan, I think.
Yeah, but I think he let her have
I think he was
things with Townes too. I don't know. I thought they said that.
I don't know about any of that.
Pretty sure.
There's a great documentary on Townes.
I didn't hear the first part. You were spinning. Y'all were all spinning. I didn't hear the first part. I think Guy and Suzanne were pretty faithful to one another.
I don't know. Maybe it wasn't her, but there was something there between the two of them.
Didn't we all have sex with Margaret Trudeau?
I never did. You did?
Oh yeah.
Fellas, I'm gonna head out. I'm getting paged, but I do hope people will watch.
It was you ringing.
I do hope. Do what?
It was you ringing.
What? Yeah, it was. I hope people will watch my Tracy Chapman video, and I'm going to do a Guy Clark Dublin Blues. It's just been released on vinyl.
Another great album.
And I'm probably going to do a review of that in the next week or two. So hope people will watch those and subscribe to my channel and hit the like button and do all those sorts of things for Rob. And I'm getting paged again. So I'll just tell everybody I enjoyed the fellowship. Y'all guys take care, okay?
Is Elliot a drug dealer?
No, moonshine.
Oh, moonshine. Okay.
Okay. Thank you for Elliot. Thank you, Elliot.
All right.
There you go.
Wow.
That's how interesting Elliot is. He has not changed his ringtone. It's the one that came with the phone.
9 o'clock, yeah.
Getting close.
Yes. So what is everyone doing today?
I'm driving out. So this weekend was my wife's 67th birthday. I think some of you know, and so we had a big party Saturday night, and actually made it a surprise party. So we had a big group of friends gathered at a restaurant and sort of made to her, we'll just go out as a small group. Her brother was in town and his kids, and our kids came to town too, and then some close friends, and so we went as a group into this restaurant, and everybody was already there, and she was totally surprised. So it all came off well. But it was great. But our daughter came into town. I'm sorry, what?
Question: how many records did you bring with you to be signed, Dr.
Thank you. So thank you for understanding and appreciating my heartfelt story. So my daughter, our daughter, came to town last Tuesday, and she wanted to. She needed some privacy with her boyfriend, and so.
Is this another child sex story? Man, you're horrible at this.
Oh my God. Well, it was to do work. All right. They needed office space. So they didn't want to stay at our house here because there were too many people here. So they went out to the gorge and hung out there. And she came up with COVID on Wednesday morning. So I know. So she couldn't come to the party. So she's still out in the gorge
these days.
But she's COVID a lot. Yeah. So, and we couldn't expose my wife to that, or me for that matter. So we're driving out today to be with her. I think she's finally not contagious.
Wow.
We saved a place for you in line at 3 a.m, but you didn't show up. You could have got everybody's autograph, the first 10 people.
Well, next year maybe.
Yeah, Kimbo was saying, "Where's Dr. Robert? I want to sign something."
Yeah. Is that European show on it was on Record Store Day, right? It was on this weekend.
Say that again.
Oh, the big Den Bosch record
Same
show?
weekend. And
Yeah. I didn't realize that was always on Record Store
It's
Day.
not always. No, it's not always. I think
But
Record Store Day moved because of Easter or something. I don't know.
I
Passover.
watch
They
Rob Walker's
move it.
video.
They stick it on fucking Passover. You know.
Yeah.
Well, you know, the other thing that was over the weekend too, there was another thing, was
Coachella.
Coachella, but it's also this next weekend, but it was the Expona, right?
Expona, in Chicago. And more tariffs were announced, and then unannounced, and then announced, then unannounced, then announced, then unannounced, then announced.
Cha-ching.
I wonder, is there tariffs on all of Ivanka's goods that she makes in China?
Of course there
Does
are.
anyone know?
Those
Does
don't sound
anyone
good.
know?
Come on.
I've been seeing something on social media about this thing about with China, that all the manufacturers in China now are revealing that they make high-end products for these high-end brands.
Is that a surprise? Is that a surprise?
No, it's not a surprise, but they're saying now you can get them, like we'll make them, because they're stealing intellectual property or whatever. But then now they're just going to sell them the same products that they make for the price that it.
Yeah, it's not really thought.
You know what? If China really wanted to hurt us, they would just say we are not shipping anything to the United States, zero, and see how quick that fucking felon changes his tune.
Basically, what's happening.
Luckily, I got my Humming Guru, I think, before the tariffs took effect.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, you didn't buy one of those, did you?
Well, I got a discount. I got a 25% discount in order to make a video, because I promised to make a video comparing.
Why wouldn't you buy it? They're great.
Why didn't
I just give them a hard time.
Oh yeah.
It'd be pretty hard to carry your Humming Guru with you when you go get autographs, though, Dr. Robert.
And I think I have a tariff problem right now.
As usual, you've grasped the meat of the subject, though, Waxed.
I'm trying to get a deal on a preamp. What's your freaking amplifier, Rob?
Prima Luna.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a Prima Luna preamp for myself.
Can you make me big, Rob?
But they're manufactured in China, and I don't think it's happening.
This better pay off, Harry.
Froze.
That was ghost written by me.
Yeah, I could figure that out, I think.
Boomer
But
scalper.
Harry, when you refer to me next time to make you big, it's Mr. RNC Staff.
It's Mr. Staff.
And that's S, you get the spelling correct. Staff.
Patrick, answer Patrick in Sweden. Yes and no, and it's like a yo-yo. They go on and off, and electronics from China were pulled back, and then someone else said no, they weren't, or Trump said no, they weren't.
That's because all of Trump's big mega donors own those
all right,
companies.
we're not getting all political. Calm
That's
down,
not political.
Harry.
That's economical.
No,
Economics.
I didn't tell you to shut up, Mazzy. I told Harry to shut up.
Oh.
All I'm saying is, I'm saying this. Patrick in Sweden, is the pickled herring tariffed?
Oh shit! Not really.
I don't know.
Mm.
What do we get
Dr.
from
Robert? Have you ever
what
gotten
about the
Dylan's
IKEA
autograph?
furniture? Is
Dylan, I
the
don't
IKEA
know his
furniture
autograph.
tariffed?
Yeah, and they got the Swedish meatballs are going way up. Those Swedish, you're going to be paying through the nose for that shit.
Yeah. No, I've never stalked Dylan for his autograph, Harry. But because it's been a while now since I've seen him. But
You're kind of the AJ Weberman of the autograph circuit.
what? Okay, you're gonna have to explain that to me.
AJ Weberman.
That was the Dylan stalker.
He's a stalker and garbologist. He went through Dylan's. I mean, for years, AJ Weberman was the guy.
I have that record.
I think he's still alive. Yeah.
Hey, Patrick, can you send me some lingonberries? I don't want my lingonberries tariffed.
So here,
lingonberries are good.
Have you seen that movie? Who is Harry Kellerman and why is he?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, I have.
It's clearly based on Dylan and Dustin Hoffman, sort of fictionalized, but kind of an interesting movie.
How about How to Get Ahead in Advertising? Remember that?
Oh yeah, yeah.
That was
That
a weird movie.
Wasn't that a British film or something? Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot
was
about
weird.
that. That
I
was
don't know
good.
if I've ever seen
It was
that.
good weird.
I know
Yeah, get your Calyx shelves now because
the name.
you're going to get 3 less cubes.
Wait, is all the IKEA furniture made in Sweden or made in China?
I think it's made in Sweden.
Sweden.
It's made in
You know what
Sweden.
they opened up? You know what they opened up in Santa Monica? An IKEA pickup store. So it's a small little store where you can go pick up your IKEA.
You don't have to go all the way to Burbank?
Well, or to Carson.
Oh, yeah.
So you got to pick it up yourself. You got to do self-checkout. And then you got to put the shit together.
Yeah.
Well,
And then you fall over like a stick man. But
you get to go eat cheap food, Harry.
The other
I've
thing
never
about
eaten at an IKEA. Sorry.
The other thing-
come on.
Truck stop sushi.
the thing I don't like about IKEA is
Swedish meatballs?
no, not the meatballs. Their stores are organized like casinos, right? You got to kind of go through the whole fucking store before you can't just.
Yeah,
back
but there are. If you look,
There's
if you don't look
shortcuts.
past the mirror, there are
Uh-huh.
openings. You can skip a whole area. to get through.
Hold on,
You have to
Dr.
look. You have
Robert.
to know where
What
they
is
are.
your favorite section of IKEA?
Oh, see, I don't even know. I've only been in one IKEA because I never wanted to go back. But it sounds like, Mazzy, it sounds like you're kind of an expert, are you?
I am.
Actually, there is stuff to buy at IKEA.
Yeah.
Well,
I like.
But the thing about IKEA, they make expensive stuff, and then there's no middle stuff. It's
No.
cheap stuff and expensive
But
stuff.
it's if you skip through all the furniture stuff most of the time, and you go right down. In fact, you can go at the beginning down to the what do they call it, the marketplace, where you can get
Right.
stuff for your kitchen, and you can get like
that's
cutting
the best
boards.
stuff. Like,
Yeah.
if you're a big coffee
And
person,
you get your
Glasses, cutting
all-
get your
boards.
their
lingonberries.
all their coffee products are very good.
Will they
Like-
sign their coffee products for you?
They
That's
will.
not even
I'll
funny,
sign it.
Dr. Robert.
Yeah, well-
and then
The last thing I bought there, they had a left-handed tool, and I couldn't use it.
but
They have
I like that
excellent.
in
They
the
have some excellent stuff. Seriously.
Uh-huh.
but
Yeah.
also
Give them another chance, I
their
don't know.
prints, their framed prints and all that
Their
stuff.
frames are, if you want, like, if you have artwork and you want framed, and as long as it's standard sizes, you can get
Talk to
great
us about
Great
what
frames.
about their fake flowers, Maz and Rob.
I don't get that stuff, but
If you want to see some good fake flowers, tune into the Vital Pipers live stream.
some of the lighting stuff are
Nice
great. The
frame.
lights above my record cabinets are IKEA, and they're excellent. They're reasonable.
Didn't some performance artists like figure out how to live in an IKEA for a
Yes.
few months
Yes, yes,
and no one knew they were there?
exactly.
Was that an IKEA in New Jersey or
I
something?
don't remember what it was.
Every
but that
time
was a
someone
real-
would walk by, they would go,
Yeah. You know, the people always ask me what storage I have in my record room because they look more custom than the Calyx, and those are called IKEA bonded. They stopped making them about 12 or
Right.
13 years ago. They have lips, they have backs, they're higher.
You can find them on Craigslist.
Yeah, and the different colors. So IKEA bonded, BONDE. But I don't know why they stopped making them because those are great.
because these things they're too deep.
Right, and they don't have
Yeah.
backs. You want to
Yeah.
put a back on them.
You
Yeah.
got to put pool whatchamacallits back there.
Yeah.
The squeegee things.
Right.
Or-
You could put the foam things that like to get air out of your, so you don't get cold air in your weather stripping. You can put a thing of that on back there.
I just cut
If
a.
you ever wanna
2x4
be creeped out by
the
an
right
IKEA
size and put it
robe-
behind everyone and glue it.
They sell robes, like shower robes. If you ever want to be creeped out by one, go to Mazzy's house.
Yeah, the Expedit they replaced. It's basically the Calyx, slightly different, but they replaced the Calyx replaced the Expedit.
Rob,
Expedit.
the light that you broke, was that an IKEA light?
No,
No, it
it
wasn't.
was purposely lowered by some creepy old.
What's a
guy.
low ceiling in there? Yeah.
I'm going to go there for lunch today.
We're going to lunch today with some person in Burbank.
Oh, I knew that. I can't believe you wouldn't think I would know that.
He says 1:30. Does that work for you?
That's good for second lunch.
I think
Okay.
I'm going to be in LA sometime in June, late June.
Oh,
For how long?
nice.
How many days?
Probably for a week.
Cool. You gotta come over, man. Bring your puppy.
I'm driving down.
Good.
Did you drive down last time?
Oh yeah.
Oh, from how many days?
Well, I'll probably take 2 days to get to San Francisco, and then from San Francisco, because we'll stop there, and then LA will be another probably 2 or 3 day drive, maybe. Depends on how many times we stop.
You're going to take the long one, Highway 1?
Well, it's a quicker drive.
No, I-5. We took one.
I-5, it takes from San Francisco, it takes 5.5 hours. I-5 to LA.
Text me.
Nowhere to stop on I-5.
Okay.
Yeah, 6 hours maybe. I mean, I go fast. 6 hours.
Yeah, well, hold on. Harry's driving to Idaho, then back down to LA.
Yeah. No, I used to go like 4 times a year for work, and I'd go to I-5. I'd cut through Altamont Pass, go I-5. The problem is when you get into LA at the 405 there, you're stuck there like for 45 minutes. But otherwise, depending on when you get in town, but it takes about 5.5, 6 hours tops.
I stop at the Harris Ranch and have a steak, Harry.
Yeah, stop at the Harris Ranch halfway. And
text me when you're.
What is the Harris Ranch?
That's where all the beef.
You'll
in
smell
California
it
comes
before
from
you
there.
see it. You'll smell all these cattle.
Yeah.
And it's
giant stockyard.
Harris Ranch is they make beef and steaks you can buy in supermarkets as well.
Tons of cattle up there.
They have a motel there. It used to be a tiny place of what stop, and then it grew. So it's a nice restaurant.
They also have a small airport landing thing.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, so you can land your plane, Harry.
Is it next to an In-N-Out?
An In-N-Out, if you're going south, an In-N-Out is about 30 to 45 minutes further.
Okay.
Well,
I'm not a fan of In-N-Out. I'm sorry. It's not. I don't see what everybody gets about it.
I love it.
Get out of here.
Harry, seriously, text me when you're in Portland. If you have time and want to stop by, I'll grab a beer with you somewhere.
Yes. And Harry, when you come to California, text
no horse
me.
meat, no horse meat, no elk meat, but you know.
I drove from.
Well, then obviously you don't enjoy IKEA meatballs, Dr. Robert.
I can't say I've tried them. So.
Well, we are a minute past 9.
I get a bag every time I go to IKEA. I get a bag of meatballs. You put them in the freezer, and those cold Pacific North winters when you have nothing to cook. But
Harry, with every bag of IKEA meatballs, you get a loser of the Kentucky
You got to
Derby.
supplement with maybe some spaghetti sauce or garlic. You want to add to them.
No, it's got that gray gravy and the lingonberry. You just put a lot of lingonberry.
Yeah, a lot of lingonberries. All right, everyone, have a good rest of your day. And
Happy trails, folks.
again. Join us Thursday morning.
Nice.
Okay.
Have a good day,
Have
everyone. Thanks for
Okay,
coming.
Ciao.
There, guys.
Did you see how fast Mazzy got out of